Bruce Willis' wife, Emma Heming Willis, shares updates on actors' health and her advocacy for caregivers. Amid his more than 2 years, by the way, 2 years battle with dementia, and Bruce Willis, by the way, Brian is failing him, and his ability to communicate is fading, and according to his wife, Emma Heming Willis, Bruce Willis, by the way, is in really great health overall, and it's just his brain that is failing him, and Heming Willis told ABC News Diane Sawyer in the ABC special and Emma and Bruce Willis. The unexpected, by the way, journey, an inside look at the actor's health and battle and how his family, and read by Heming Willis, and has reeled, by the way, to be his caregivers. And when asking whether Wales, by the way, when asked whether Wales, her husband of 16 years, is able, by the way, to recognize her, and Heming Wales said a connection is still there. And I feel he does. I feel he does right. Like I know he does. And by the way, when we are with him, he lights up. And Heming Wales told this way, Sawyer, by the way, Sawyer, adding that his connection is also present with the couple's two young daughters and with 3 adult daughters. And he's holding, by the way, he's holding our hands, and we are kissing him. We are kissing him, really. Kissing him. We are hugging him, and he is, by the way, no, he is into it. And she continued, by the way, and so that's all I need. And I don't need him to know that I am his wife. And we were married, by the way, on this day. And this is what it. And I don't need, by the way, any of what I just want to feel that I have a connection with him. And I do well. And family shared, by the way, publicly in 2023 that he had been diagnosed, and by the way, a type of dementia that impacts on one personality and may cause behavioral changes according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. And by the way, the 70 years old die-hard actor has also lost, by the way, much of his ability to communicate since his diagnosis, according to Heming Willis, and who has written a new book, by the way, about her family's experience and the unexpected journey, finding strength and hope and yourself on the caregiving path. And the ABC News, by the way, especially Emma and Bruce Willis, the unexpected journey begins, by the way, streaming in 27th of August on Disney Plus and Hulu. And the language is going, and we have learned to adapt. She says that, and we have, by the way, a way of communicating with him, and which is just a different way. And Heming Willis, by the way, 49, said she and her family, through it all, and still see glimmers of Will's personality, and the twinkle in his eye. Not days, by the way, but we get momentous. And Heming Willis, by the way, said is his laugh, and like he has such like a hardy laugh. And sometimes you will see that twinkle in his eye, or that smirk, and I just get like transported. And she said, by the way, and it's just hard to see because as quickly as those moments appear, and then it goes, and it's hard, but I'm grateful. And I'm grateful, by the way, that my husband is still very much here and navigating a lonely road as a caregiver. In addition, by the way, to his two daughters, goes 13 and 11 with Heming Willis. Willis, by the way, is also the father to 3 older daughters, and Tulwa, Scout, and Rumor with his ex-wife, actress Demi Moore. And as moonlighting, by the way, actors struggle with dementia continue to progress, and Heming Willis said she and her family made the decision to surround Willis with professional caregivers in a new home that is safe, quiet, and easier for him to navigate decisions, and she had to make in her caregiving journey. But I knew, by the way, first and foremost, Bruce Willis, by the way, would want that for our daughters. You know, he would want them to be in a home that was more tailored to their needs, not his needs. She says that, by the way. And Wells, by the way, was still working as an actor and enjoying life with his friends and family. And when FTD began to show up as a whisper in different ways, according to Heming Willis, including, by the way, missing lines on movie sets, appearing cold and distant to family members, and skipping out on activities, and he usually loved like taking his younger daughters to school. Heming Willis said, by the way, at the time, she had no idea, by the way, those were signs of an early onset dementia. In the first few months, by the way, after Wells' diagnosis, Heming Willis, by the way, said she, like so many caregivers, and thought he had to do it alone, and which meant lying awake at night to make sure Wells actually was safe and isolating the family away from social gatherings and play dates in order to make life more comfortable for Wells. And looking back, by the way, Heming Willis said she waited, too long to get help and support for both herself and Wells, and it was only, by the way, when her stepdaughter's scout told her that she was more worried about her than she was her dad, that Heming Willis said she reached out for help. And I will never, by the way, forget when a scout said that to me, and I thought, wow, actually, okay. And I'm losing it. I need to really get myself together here. And Heming Willis, by the way, recalled adding that she had to be treated for depression herself and eventually brought in professional caregivers for Wells. The experience, by the way, sport Heming Willis. And a model, by the way, a model and entrepreneur who prefers to work out of the spotlight to move front and center as a public advocate for caregivers, by the way, and the need for more support for loved ones of people living with conditions like dementia. And dementia, by the way, an umbrella. Dementia was an umbrella, by the way, term for a decline in mental abilities such as thinking and memory, and decision and making impacts millions of Americans and their families. According to the CDC, nearly 7 million older adults in the US have, by the way, Alzheimer's, the most common type of dementia. Heming Willis said she wrote her book, and this unexpected journey in hopes, by the way, is a lifeline for caregivers, especially those and who care for people with FTD, which is one of the most common dementias in people under 60, according to the CDCS. And he said she also wants more people, by the way, to know about FTD and post, by the way, so that they know they are not alone if a loved one is diagnosed with the disease. And so that, by the way, they can get help early on participate in the groundbreaking research that may one day lead to a cure or treatment for the disease. And by the way, there are clinical trials underway now for patients in the early stages of the disease. And that is, by the way, this whole motivation for me to raise awareness about the disease, because we want, by the way, families, and we want people to be able to be diagnosed earlier, and when they can participate, by the way, in these trials. Heming Willis said, adding that she hopes people remember the rare disease Bruce Willis has, and find resources and do not feel alone as she continues forward in her own journey as a caregiver. Heming Willis says that again. She tries to stay in the present moment and do not think, by the way, back too much to the man she married and their early days of falling in love and raising children together. And saying it's hard to look back. Thank you so much. Have a nice time and a great day. Thank you.